All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of actually pretty interesting stories for you guys today. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it here. The first story that I have for you guys today, a Roelly Winklaar physique update. Just a mere days away from stepping on stage again with the caption, "Here we go, round 2, ready for Destination Spain," which is this weekend, guys. The same weekend as the Texas Pro. Texas and Spain will be going on alongside each other simultaneously. So if there are live streams for each show, you're going to have to make the decision which one is more important to you, which one do you want to watch. And honestly, both shows are going to be very exciting. You've got Steve Kuklo, Ian Vaier, Phil Klahar, Hassan Mustafa in Texas, and Roelly Winklaar in the gang that I'm going to talk about this in a minute. The guys that are going to be in the Europa Spain lineup. Pretty interesting lineup there too. So Roelly goes on to say in his caption that after almost 2 years off the stage, we're brushing off the dust and getting back to things slowly but surely. So the real question with this physique update from Roelly is, will he be able to improve enough from Chicago to this Europa Spain show to win the show, qualify for the Olympia, and not have to worry about the Arnold Classic qualification, which only the winner qualifies? Because let's face it, we all want to see Roelly on the Olympia stage, and we all want to see Roelly in shape. We don't want to see Roelly come in being a shadow of himself with weak conditioning, looking kind of flat, looking kind of small. That's not what we want. We want to see a sharp, conditioned, shredded Roelly. Maybe even downsized would be good. But that's what we want to see. I want to see Roelly succeed. And the question is, will he look better this time around? Let's compare. So Roelly posted a physique update just like this, another Most Muscular, or his coach did, and then Roelly reposted it, going into the Chicago show. And this was a few weeks out from Chicago, and he looked pretty damn good in that Magic Mirror physique update. Let's put them side by side. He looked really good in that update, and that was weeks away from the Chicago show. This update that we just got is days away from stepping on stage in Spain. And I think they look very, very similar from a standpoint of what kind of shape he's in. I mean, in the one where he was weeks out from Chicago, you would have thought he was going to come into Chicago and nail it. He looked grainy, he looked vascular, he looked downsized but lean. He looked really good in that update going into Chicago, hence why a lot of people thought Chicago was going to be a relatively easy win for Roelly. So this new physique update, like I said, days away from stepping on stage. The question will be answered this weekend in Spain. Is Roelly going to the Olympia or not? Again, Spain is a little bit different. The top 2 at that show will both be going to the Olympia. So Roelly doesn't necessarily have to win to go to the Olympia. But the question will be answered this weekend. Is he going to the Olympia or is he not? And then the last chance that he's going to have is the Arnold Classic Ohio, and he's going to have to win that show to get to the Olympia if he doesn't qualify here. So that's what we're waiting to see this weekend. Now, let's take a look at this weekend's Europa Spain lineup. This is the most up-to-date lineup or version of the lineup that I've seen. You've got Khalid Alkazem, Mohammed Al-Snor, Nathan Diasha, Pavel Baron, James Bondy, Tim Budashim, Vladimir Iakalev, Theo Laguerrier, Andre Muzi, Diego Nunez, Paul Polakzik, Saram Vladjav Surchenko, Robert Taylor, Mariusz Tomzuk, Roelly Winklaar, and Christian Walski. So I'm sure I butchered a lot of those names, but the main guys I'm going to be looking at this weekend are going to be Roelly, Tim Budashim, Andre Muzi, and Nathan Diasha. Those are the bodybuilders I'm most familiar with in this lineup, and those are the best bodybuilders, in my opinion, in this lineup. Those 4 guys will likely be in the first call-out, vying for those top 2 spots. And again, the question's going to be answered. 2 more names potentially added to the Olympia list after this show. And then in Texas, another name. So by the time this weekend is over, that Olympia qualified competitors list is going to be 3 names deeper. So this weekend, very important for bodybuilding. And in Texas, very important for classic physique. That classic physique lineup in Texas is going to be stacked. So there's a lot of bodybuilding stuff going on this weekend that's really important for the Olympia. Now, next up in the news, we have a little bit of a physique update from Akim Williams. We've seen a little bit of sneak peeks here and there of Akim. Akim, probably one of the best guys going into this year's Arnold Classic. He's got to be one of the guys that's a favorite to be in the first call out there, a favorite to win there. Akim, 6th place at the Olympia. And also, Akim is your 2021 Puerto Rico Pro Champion, which is the show that Akim won to get him to the Olympia stage this year. So Akim is already qualified. He is going into the Arnold Classic and then the Olympia. And these pictures really just show off his arms, specifically his biceps, which I've always thought have been an incredibly dominant body part for Akim. He's got crazy peaked biceps, really impressive arms on Akim. And they look really separated at this point in his prep for the Arnold. I think we're a little under 7 weeks out from the Arnold now. A little under 8 weeks out from the Olympia. Is that right? No, 9 weeks? We're starting to get close. I mean, these weeks are going by so fast and time is really flying. And before we know it, we're going to be in the week leading up to the Olympia talking about the guys and looking at the physique updates that are posted days out from the O. I mean, before we know it, it's going to be here in October. And before we know it, it's going to be the Arnold Classic in September. And I, for one, am excited. And Akim Williams, like I said, he's already looking good. He's looking to be on track, and conditioning is the thing that we want to see if Akim can continuously replicate like he did last year. He needs to look like he did at the Olympia last year or better at this year's Olympia and this year's Arnold if he wants to be a top threat to those shows. I think in Puerto Rico, we saw a little bit of a softer version of Akim. I don't think he was as sharp as he was at the Olympia, and I think that was more or less just a show that was an easy show for Akim. For lack of a better word, he wanted to get that qualification out of the way and then focus on the two big shows, the Arnold and the O. Now, next up in the news, Mr. Olympia Chris Bumstead being very generous with the fans. Chris Bumstead has been posting a lot of updates lately. We had an update from him yesterday. We had an update from him a couple videos ago. And today is no exception to that, posting basically a full physique update on his, not on his Instagram, but on his YouTube channel. Posting basically a full posing video at what I believe is 8 weeks out from the Olympia. This is like his current shape, or at least it's right before he left for Tampa, for Florida, to go be with Ian Valier for the let me correct myself, for the Tampa Pro, because this looks like it's his regular gym, but I could be wrong. But it looks to me like Chris is in his home gym with his usual goon light. So maybe this was right before he left, just a few days old. And of course, I think Chris looks fantastic. I really, I always get this moniker of Chris Bumstead fanboy, which I guess is a good moniker to have because he's about to be 3-time Mr. Olympia. He's your current Olympia champ 2 times. So I guess at least I'm not a fanboy of someone that's losing. But look, the bottom line is Chris and Breon had 2 very different physiques. So when Breon was reigning, that to me defined what classic physique was when Breon was champion. The shift from Breon's physique to Chris Bumstead's physique as champion signified a shift in the standard of what they're looking for in classic physique, what the judges want. So that's cool, but if Chris's physique is the standard now, then the guys that are looking to beat him are going to have to meet that standard. And I haven't really seen anybody that really has the same type of physique that Chris has. Now, Logan Franklin is kind of similar to Chris's structure. Brian Jones, who was in the first call out last year, he's kind of similar to Chris. He's a taller guy. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be tough. I just don't know who I could see pushing him this year. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who has the best shot at beating Chris Bumstead? So that's going to wrap it up for the video today, guys. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please comment down below your Olympia predictions, your predictions for the Spain show, your Texas predictions. Comment those all down below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.